Hello, my name is Meaty Bacon Man, and welcome to my channel. Gaming with Doc, the man responsible for teaching pioneers how to play satisfactory, reached out to me, and asked if I wanted to participate in a build project with 2 other pioneers. Obviously, I said yes. Each pioneer for this build has been tasked with building a motor factory. For those who know my build style, know it's best to just banish me to an area of the world, and for this factory, I have been completely unsupervised for its entirety. I shall go into depth for each build, as well as showcase some of the other things I have built over the years. If you do not like spaghetti, jank, and messy factories, you willingly clicked on this video, so it's your own fault, you brought this on yourself. I chose the rocky desert because we have easy access to the void, and there is also a decent variety of nodes in the area. The initial plan for the factory is as follows. Just make it up as I go along like always. The plan is to make a lot of motors. So instead of using a couple of resource nodes to achieve this, I shall absorb the entire region of the rocky desert, and convert the area into an industrial wasteland made entirely out of spaghetti and jank. To begin, the surrounding raw resource nodes in the area must be connected with belts and pipes, and processed into basic products, such as ingots, silica, and concrete. I build like this, because belts and pipes are the most efficient thing you can build. There is zero downtime, as there is no loading or unloading, and belts don't get confused like vehicles. Here is an example of a confused truck. Plus, spaghetti looks good no matter what. This build event does not have power active for the world settings, and there is no build cost for construction either. I do not normally build like this, but it means I can build a lot faster than normal. Not only do we need to make a lot of motors, we need to make a lot of spaghetti too. The pioneers who I will be up against today are WhiteStone Industries and Panache Tomfool. WhiteStone is an expert at all things train related. His builds are precise, technically advanced, and visually very clean. The main difference between WhiteStone Industries and myself is when the pods were launched, WhiteStone's pod landed safely. Mine, on the other hand, I had to crawl out of the wreckage after almost falling into oblivion. I may have banged my head several times upon arrival, maybe this is why my head is so large. But at least I didn't bang my head, I don't remember. Not that any of this is important, the only thing that matters is, as a pioneer, is what we are building today. Also, Panache Tomfool is a complete noob, and he will be easily obliterated in this event. Additional personal arbitrary limitations and stipulations imposed on this build include: Number 1, sushi belts. Most pioneers avoid sushi conveyor belts. However, sushi is visually nice to look at, so for every step of this build, I will be mixing up everything on the belts to ensure logistics remain a nightmare at every step. Number 2, foundations are forbidden. The foundation to any factory is not foundations, it is in fact the floor itself. So this factory will be built entirely on the ground where it belongs. At some point the factory will grow, in which case it can spread out into the water, and into the air. When this happens, painted beams, and other architectural items will be used to hold the machines in place. But even if the machines float in the air without any reason, this is also acceptable. Walls, windows, and even vehicles can be used to keep the factory from falling down, if they are used in the correct manner. Number 3, conveyor lifts are to be used in minimum amounts. Preferably they will be placed at angles, and split down the middle. Additionally, it's fine if they visually are not connected to the machines they are linked to. This allows for items to move more freely in the air. Product without friction moves faster to its destination. Personally, I like using conveyor belts for everything. Sometimes you can't reach vertically, so instead of a conveyor lift, use my patented ascension coil technique. This allows you to build belts vertically, and you can stack multiple belts on top of each other if you need more product to be lifted. Ascension coils can also be used as the foundation to new factory masses. Instead of using foundations, get a machine, squash it, rotate it, and place that as the floor of your new factory level. The ascension coil will hold the machine up, if you have issues with objects floating, or it looking structurally unsafe. This can remove any anxiety this could normally cause. We will also be doing vertical manifolds. The factory is like a big plant, it yearns for the sun, so it extends into the sky, and requires water, so it absorbs all water sources big and small. Number 4, no blueprints. Blueprinting makes life too easy and uniformed. So that is outlawed. Everything must be hand-placed, individually, and with care. If you don't care how your factory is built, why bother? Here is an example of a hand-built factory. As you can see, it looks visually very appealing. You might be overwhelmed with what you are looking at. Calm down, drink some tea, and relax. Building a factory should be an enjoyable experience to everyone involved. However, if you linger too long while I am building, you might be consumed by the conveyor belts. They are hungry for product. If they see you loitering, you will be sunk and processed for points. You were worth 0.1 points. Thank you for your contribution. You will be added to the coupon pile. Number 5, sloop. Every single production step is to be slooped. 5 motors per minute is unacceptable. We want to maximize the output of everything we are dealing with. Do you want a handful of motors? No. Do you want a large amount of motors per minute? Again, the answer is no. Do you want to overclock and sloop everything? You will have so many motors you don't know what to do with. Obviously, this is the correct answer. Yes, sloop and overclock. For without sloops, you will be making 5 motors per minute, and this sucks. Now we have laid the ground rules for the factory. It is time to continue building. As you can clearly see, I have been rather busy. Machines, manifolds, and mess adorn the landscape. You may be wondering, why am I making high-speed connectors and electromagnetic control rods? This is just a simple motor factory. No. We need vast amounts of everything, twice. So we are using alternative part recipes and slooping it all, for double the output. FICISIT doesn't want 5 or 6 motors. It wants all of them. So I shall attempt to make as many as possible. So we are using a recipe that uses electromagnetic control rods and rotors. Good. We have reached over 1000. This may sound like a lot, but we need even more. Well, this had to happen at some point. The factory mass has become so powerful it is causing frequent crashes due to its volume. I have to re-evaluate the situation. I was planning on going for 10,000 motors per minute minimum. But the crashes are preventing this. So we will accept whatever the factory is currently producing and call it a day. If you are not causing engine instabilities and FPS loss, are you even trying as a pioneer? The answer is no. Behold. I have built an additional 4 more layers to the central mass of the manifold column. So this leads us to a new question. Where shall we send all of the motors? As mentioned at the beginning, we build here, because we have easy access to the void. So that is where we are sending them. But to do this, we must construct the motorway. All 5 conveyor lines from the central mass will converge and travel down. The ocean on this side of the world does not understand reality. Look. Let's take a swim. What a pleasant day it is, and what a day it is to be alive. Oh dear. We have fallen off the side of the world and we are falling into the void. Luckily though, I am like a lizard doggo, and always land on my feet, regardless of if there is floor or matter of any kind beneath me. See, you doubted me. Now I am at the hub. Oh wait. Was I dead? No, I do not think that I was dead. Otherwise how could I be pondering this situation? This does not make sense. This makes less sense than my factory. And my factory makes no sense at all. Look, the days since last incident is on 0. But this wasn't me, clearly WhiteStone Industries, or Panache Tomfool has had an accident. I am confused, and my brain is warm. I will contemplate my existence later. But for now, let's return to the area and continue building the motorway. All 5 of the lines have made their way down into the void, just before the kill zone. Down here, if I clap my hands, like this, it removes the fog layer. This allows me to get a nice view of the underground sun. It might be a sun, or it might be a giant egg yolk, lava pool, or something else. I'm not exactly sure, but we will build here, so we get a nice view of it. Because of the no foundation rule, we will be using my tried and tested machines as floor technique. Converters are late game machines, but I haven't used them for this build. But if you squash them, and place them next to each other, they make for a nice tiled floor that tessellates. Now the floor is ready, we can place the final set of awesome sinks to the area. Before I forget, there are 3 final things we need. A sushi belt for decoration, to finish the factory tour train line, and to cover the motors in a layer of green goo, to protect them, and to help prevent corrosion, from the storms of version 1.2. This update has added weather, so hopefully this will annihilate my FPS even more. And just like that, the factory is complete. So how many motors did we end up producing? A little over 5,800 per minute, almost 97 motors per second. Not as many as I would like, but it's a respectable attempt. In conclusion, the use of so many different alternative recipes, from every step of production, allowed for the factory, to make a higher yield of everything. I made what is normally a simple process, where you only need stators and rotors to make motors, and made it as complicated as possible. Why? Because 5 motors per minute sucks, and FICISIT demands results. So let's take a look at the other builders' factories, and analyze what has been made. First up, it's WhiteStone. I'm expecting nothing but the best. Oh, this is nice. I also like to use slugs as decoration. This is the best colored slug out of the 3. I'm not used to being inside, or on the ground for that matter. Oh look, Z-axis fighting, even build masters like WhiteStone, cannot escape the odd bit of visual jank too. So which door do we go through? I'm not used to choice, I'm not used to doors either. What is behind door number 1 and 2? Death. Maybe, WhiteStone has been known to cause death before, he has a more creative, and effective way of dealing with unproductive pioneers. Do you like trains? Yes, what about being crushed to death by a train? Splat. I can make trains do wonderful and unusual things with the power of infinite nudge. Physics become optional if you study my methods. But if you study WhiteStones, and watch his satisfactory videos, he will actually teach you how to build a comprehensive and functioning rail system, that follows the contours of the map, as opposed to my sky rails that just go anywhere. He is the train man after all. Maybe I am overthinking this, let's have a look. Oh, they both led to the same location, and I am not dead. Well then, let's explore the area. Firstly, as a British pioneer, how am I supposed to navigate this? I'm being forced to travel on the right-hand side. This is wrong. I have 2 left feet, didn't he get the memo? Clearly not. This is why I don't walk on the ground anymore. His trains also travel on the right-hand side? Shocking. One thing I always enjoy about WhiteStone's builds, are his train spirals. Blueprints are not something I use very often. But I have used them for my own train lines before, and experimented with them a few times, on my world of spaghetti. But building spirals like this, is on another level of complexity I am unfamiliar with, especially for vanilla construction techniques. Let's compare WhiteStone's spirals, with my own. Caution is advised. You may become mesmerized by the jank. Welcome back. Let's head over to the tower. Korbalimi, gosh, and gadzooks. Look at this. It's incredible. This is what happens when you sink over 4,400 hours into a game. You become an expert at building, and develop a style, and then become an expert in that style. WhiteStone's builds are impressive, not only due to how clean they are, but also due to their scale. Sure, it's easy to make a pile of spaghetti, but this is a tower made out of a combination of blueprints, and hand-placed objects. Look at the giant list of blueprints he's used. Significant time has gone into the construction of this tower. I asked him how long it took to build. He said around 135 hours, which is at least double what I spent on making my own factory. And what a factory it is. So let's have a proper look inside. This is a fancy lobby. I don't belong here. It's too clean. The blue sphere at the tower base is interesting. And what I really like is how the protrusions from the sphere extend out to the walls, but because WhiteStone is a build master, he has incorporated the protrusions and built the walls around them to accommodate. They are part of the map and cannot be deleted or removed. This is the exact same location on my own world for comparison. Surprisingly, it's still clean. The desert factory mass will absorb this region at some point in the future, as I am planning on absorbing every single node in the game. Nowhere is safe from the spaghetti. The world must become a huge mess. All corners of creation will yield to the spaghettification eventually. Each level of the tower has a floor dedicated to either one or two products. It appears as the motor components are being made top-down also. Despite power not being required as part of the brief for this build project, WhiteStone has included it in his build. So let's do a test. Looking at the power pole, the power consumption appears to be alarmingly low. Something tells me there might be missing power connections in here. Time for at least one factory, if not two, or even all three on the map, to have a catastrophic power grid failure. Oh dear. Red lights all over the world. Being a pioneer, whose build style is spaghetti and mess, I am reasonably adept in troubleshooting problems. Oh look, there's the problem, this ain't connected. And I'm guessing each blueprinted pod also isn't connected, which is why the grid consumption was so low. Problem solved. WhiteStone, you owe me £1,000 for fixing your factory, but unfortunately for you, I also use sloops when I issue an invoice. So it's actually £2,000. You're welcome. Let's go back home for a moment. Yes, my factory is completely turned off. This is bad. Not a single machine was connected to any form of power. I have never built like this before, so this is a new problem for me. WhiteStone, I'll tell you what, forget the £2,000, I'll fix everything right now. But to do this, I must commune with the sun. No, not this one. That is too far away, but I do plan on visiting it in the future. Let's try the underground one. Rumor has it that the underground sun is a source of great power. How did I get here? Irrelevant, that is not important. I am way below the kill zone. Just accept it, and don't give yourself a headache trying to figure it out. Let me try something new. O God of spaghetti, jank, and all things broken, hear me. I conducted a test, and the world is now broke. The other pioneers, they think I'm a joke. I will do something wonderful, if you fix this for me. I shall cover them all, in endless spaghetti. I turned off the power, and the world is now dead, so please hear my prayer, from my giant pink head. How did I get here? My brain is warm again. Power has been restored. Good. Where was I? Oh yes, exploring the tower. This building's entire exterior is symmetrical. 3 pods are either side of the central column. Unprocessed resources flow to the top from the conveyor lifts, and get smelted inside these overly fancy, modular blueprinted smelters and foundries. These are great. The front sections of these ships remind me of something out of Tron. Imagine being able to build like this. I can't. All I can do is make mess, though I have tried to make symmetrical spaghetti before once or twice. Symmetry is a thing of beauty that is not completely lost on me. And finally, the lone drone port on the tippy top, delivering motors to the hub. How many motors did he end up producing? 150 per minute. But to be fair, WhiteStone didn't absorb an entire region of the world to achieve this. If he had, the build would have taken him thousands and thousands of hours just to make the same amount I did. This review probably would have released sometime in 2040. So to conclude WhiteStone's build, he gets 2 separate thumbs up for effort, and a thumbs down for spaghetti. Even if you dig under the foundations to look for it, it is still neat. Absolutely disgusting. All jokes aside, there is no right or wrong way to build. Do whatever you find enjoyable. Okay, now let's see what Panache has built. Wow, where to start? I am almost speechless. I have no words to describe how epic this build is. It's been so long I had forgotten what it was like to see a normal factory. He's called it a day, and it doesn't even have a completed roof. Incredible. But then again, neither does mine. Who needs a roof anyway? It's probably called style, something I am unfamiliar with. This walkway just suddenly ends, and there's a random piece of railing placed here on the top floor. A singular lonely unconnected conveyor pole. The staircase is poking out of the floor. And here we have a constructor, on top of another constructor, with a rather illegal belt shape. This is acceptable. More pioneers should build vertical manifolds. He clearly ran out of space, as the building is not a complete rectangle either. I asked him how long it took to build. He said 3 hours. Yes. This looks like a 3-hour build from a noob. It's using the basic FICISIT factory swatch colors too. Look. This is nice. The building is not even connected to the ground. Despite me pointing it out, that is not important. What is important is, does it make motors? Yes, and how many? 15 to 16 per minute. Well, this is more than the 5 per minute I was expecting. So Panache gets a thumbs up from me. Bravo sir. Oh wait, I was wrong. It is connected with a wafer-thin staircase, and upon further inspection, he has dabbled in some black magic, by stealing the miners off the resource nodes, using the infinite nudge modification. Maybe he is not as big a noob as I thought. But wait, what's this? Sloops have been used. What is interesting about his sloop use, is that he's slooping components for stators and rotors, and not the machines that makes motors. Despite being able to get unlimited sloops, with the world settings for this build event. Amazing. Why make 30 to 32 per minute, when you can make 15 to 16 instead? Okay, I take it back, he is a noob. GG Panache, you did the thing. But in all seriousness, for a basic build, this is a clean building. And it even has safety rails to prevent accidents. The main reason Panache is such a noob at Satisfactory, is because he plays a small indie game way more. You might have heard of it, it's called Minecraft. His entire YouTube channel is about Minecraft, check it out. Doc hosted a build contest a while back. I built Doc's character, in Satisfactory. It's one reason I like this game so much. It's possible to build things like this, as well as other things like pixel art, which I also dabble in. Here I am as a low-resolution pixel pioneer, and here is a popular Twitch emote. It's quite keck W. We were all beginners once, including myself. I didn't realize you could unlock foundations from the awesome shop for a good while. That probably explains how we got here. Here is my factory when it was just a baby, and like Panache, I didn't know what I was doing. Now after a couple thousand hours building in this manner, I am an expert in spaghetti, and logistical nightmares. A big thanks to Gaming with Doc, for inviting me to participate in this build event. Unlike me, Doc will teach you how to play the game, to troubleshoot your factory, and to be an efficient pioneer. His channel has content, covering almost everything to do with the game at this point. From shorts, to long-form videos, and if you catch him streaming, you can even ask questions directly. I am still playing from my first save file, when the game was in beta. My early game spaghetti is an inefficient mess. But I have absorbed some of his knowledge, and combined it with my own. Now my factory can continue to grow, spreading product, light pollution, mess, efficiency, radioactive nuclear waste, power, and spaghetti, to all corners of creation. Additionally, it is not an opinion, it is a FICISIT approved, hard-cold fact, that spaghetti is the correct way to build, that beats all other construction styles. And if you ever think your factory is a mess, don't worry, it isn't. It could be worse. Look at the world map for this event. We achieved successful spaghettification. If you have made it this far, thank you for watching, so sit back, relax, and all aboard. The factory tour train is here. See you in the next video, and consider subscribing if you want to see more. Ta-ta, and farewell.